Yo, Detroit and around the world, are you ready to turn up the volume? Introducing Roadwork Records, the podcast from Detroit.
Oh, going
the
back,
podcast with
John
Grit.
Hopkins is
Your
in
new
Baltimore,
go-to
Maryland.
for real talk on everything
So when you're talking about the
entertainment,
hip-hop thing,
from Detroit's gritty
and he
streets
was thinking
to
about
the global
Philly.
scene. Yeah, hosted by me. You
restaurant.
know who I am, T-Money Green, that brought you the bass to Death Row Records back in the heyday. And I got three of the smartest ladies with me. Jen Shagner, our Jen with the juice. We got Gail Suhu, and we got Jackie Wallace. Listen, our show is raw, unfiltered, and it's packed with the hottest trends, artist drops, and inside stories you won't want to miss. So listen, tune in to Roadwork Records, the podcast. It's where Detroit grit meets the world stage. Don't miss out. Check us out. Roadwork Records on Facebook for more details. Streaming everywhere. Be there.
We go again.
Why
Here
would
we
you
go
be there?
again.
Another Saturday.
Here we are. Here we are.
It's the only day I wake up early. Saturday.
Saturday.
No.
Podcast
Oh, no.
Saturday.
Gail's giving you the side eye.
No. I wake you up to take your medicine.
Oh, yeah, she did.
And then you
go
roll back
to sleep.
over and go back to sleep.
As soon as she leaves, I can go.
She's like, that does not
Call
count.
me when you get to work. I'll get you a parking space.
Yeah, I get you a part. Yeah, so welcome aboard, ladies. My ladies, it's the Christmas time holiday.
That it is.
How many days?
We're 10 days away.
Are we
Well, today's the 14th, so I mean, do you
Damn,
count it or
it's
not?
the
Yeah.
14th?
So in 10 days is Christmas Eve.
I gotta hurry up and put the tree up for my brother.
Tree
My
Are you
sheet.
brother
serious?
kicks my ass,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
You're still gonna put it up?
I have.
He has no
I don't
choice.
want to because
Oh.
my mother and him gone, right?
Yeah.
But my brother,
Insists.
and he's autistic.
Oh,
He keeps
yeah.
looking at the
He just
corner.
remembers it one
Oh,
way. Yeah, he keeps looking at the corner where it's all her junk. Like,
No, it's not. Your amp is
all
there.
her presents.
where her
all
amp
her
is coming out.
Your amp, not mine. I don't have an amp. No, the little washing machine I ordered is there, but it's going downstairs today.
Yeah, it
Was that your Christmas?
Mhm.
Was that your present? Washing
is. She
machine?
bought that for herself.
Like I'm never gonna put some of your clothes in there.
Uh-oh.
That's
I
okay.
need some socks, honey.
Hey, how's everybody's health? Do a sound off. Jen, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I mean, I still got some more doctor's appointments and whatnot, but yeah, I'm hanging in
She
there.
made it through the
looking good.
colonoscopy.
I did.
you
I
did.
made
You
it through the
look good.
colonoscopy. I don't
Yeah.
think I'll ever drink orange Gatorade again, but I did make it through the
Oh,
colonoscopy.
yeah. That's what they got something new. I had to drink that other stuff.
Yeah, the propylene
you-
glycol.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had the big jug.
Yeah, my husband did too. But the propylene, it's the same as the Miralax. So you can either buy like the store brand shit that's like $4, or you can spend $10 on the, on the Miralax brand. But
Yeah.
you just mix it in with the Gatorade,
Which
and drink
isn't
it.
bad when you mix it with
It really
Gatorade.
wasn't.
No.
It tasted like Gatorade. And I talked to the chick. She was really sweet because, of course, I have like massive anxiety now about all these things. And she's like, just sip it because you don't want to get like sick. It can make you sick.
Yeah.
And, so that's what I did. But I was listening to other people because you have to get up 4 hours before and do it again.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, so drink it like 32 ounces in an hour. And I heard one lady, she's like, okay, and when did you finish? She was like, oh, about like 5:30. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
It's like a doctor. I heard him say, Miss Johnson, what did you have? You ate breakfast today? Oh, yeah, I had breakfast. He was like,
Oh, jeez.
he was like, yeah, we saw it. We have to do this whole thing over.
Oh
He was like,
my.
you're not supposed to eat.
only
They
had
beg
a
you to.
little
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. Like they were just so stern with me. I was
Yeah.
just, I mean, I stopped taking.
Well, you don't want to go and look in there, and then it's for
Exactly.
a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
right.
look at all this debris.
I
Right.
mean, there was a lot of like,
Debris?
yeah, like you have to watch like eating nuts and stuff like this
Yeah. Well, you
beforehand,
can't
and
eat it all.
supplements. Yeah, well, a week before you have to stop on your supplements.
Oh,
make do.
a week before?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, 5
okay.
days, but I was so paranoid. I'm just like, screw it.
Right.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
even think I took my cholesterol medication, which they're like, that's fine to do. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't think so. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're not
can I
taking
take my
that.
Xanax?
Right.
They were
You
like,
So,
gotta
what,
have
so
that.
tell us what you did after you woke up.
I woke up and they were like, well, you have diverticulosis. And I was like, okay. And
What is that?
it just means I have little like
Pockets,
pop.
little
Yeah.
pockets, and instead of smooth,
They're
they're
happy.
little pocket things. Most of
The
us
doctor
on
translates
the
here.
Right,
American
right.
diet will have diverticulosis.
Oh,
which
okay.
It's when
that's
it-
okay unless it
yes.
turns into itis. Then it
Yes.
hurts like heck.
That's what my mother has. So we're praying that it doesn't go there. But
Right.
yeah. So I just woke up and I sat down for a minute and because it's in a basement and there's no reception. So they tell the
Right.
people that are with you to go out into the car and they'll call you
Right.
and bring the car up. So there, I'm waiting in the chair for the nurse to put his jacket on and take me up. And this guy next to me, he's like, yeah, how'd it go? And I'm like, I mean, I guess it went
How'd it
okay. How'd
go?
it go for you? And
The
he was like,
icebreaker.
yeah. And he's like, all right. So he's clearly
It's
still
like
like
at the
super.
bar.
Who would
Yeah.
ask you that?
And he was there, like his wife brought him. We saw him come in and everything. And so I was like, yeah, I guess it went all right. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. My boss wants me to come to work.
Oh,
And I was
really?
like, and that's the one thing they say, like, you need to
No.
go home and relax and
Right,
whatever.
right,
Don't
right.
drive
Mhm.
and what.
Your
So I
boss
was
is
like, I
the
don't-
hell with that.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think you should do that. And I go, well, what do you do? And he's like, I paint cars and we're real busy. And this nurse pops around the curtain and she was like, I know I'm not the one that was helping you, sir, but absolutely under no circumstances should you
Right.
be going to work this
Right.
afternoon.
Right.
She's
Did
like,
you get a picture of it?
no, they didn't give me a
Oh,
picture.
they gave me a picture.
Oh, did they?
They did, yeah.
I-
So I
I
wanted,
was
I wanted to
expecting
send it
one.
out for Christmas cards.
Oh, that would have been
that would be
crazy. Yeah.
good.
This
You
is
guys-
you guys
Frankie's
you guys are
colon
getting
saying
one.
happy holidays.
There's probably one online. You know how they send you all that crap online? Yeah.
Probably
So
one
we'll
online.
see. Yeah.
So Jackie, how you doing? You look like $1 million, boo.
Oh, thanks.
You really do. You look
I'm
great.
like
always.
getting through a cold,
Yeah.
but again,
The babies.
but the
Anytime
baby,
you're around
man,
babies, they
just
get you
always
sick
spreading the
back
love.
and forth.
They
Yeah.
got all those
Yeah.
boogers.
But I'm
Spreading
actually,
the
thank you.
virus.
I'm going to Wayne State after this because my nephew is graduating his commencements today for him. He's
Yay!
in college year. So shout out to Andrew.
Congratulations.
So that's
That's
what I'm
pretty good.
doing right after.
We're good.
What about you?
Well, I'm a little under the weather with this. It's either if it could be kidney stones,
It's a
it
muscle
could be the
pull.
muscle. She's swearing it's a muscle pull, but it's been
I can
lasting
feel
like
it twangy back there.
over and over.
Okay.
Because I got a horrible mattress, so we're going out to get a mattress today.
Okay, good.
I'm
Good.
tired of, because a mattress. If you sleeping, half your body's here, then the other one dips,
Yeah.
and then it comes back up. It
Yeah.
can't be good.
No, that's
Right.
not good,
Right.
Yeah.
actually.
Gail,
That's
how
why
are you
most
feeling?
mattresses are flat.
How's the doctor?
I'm good.
Yep,
Yeah, you
she's
look
back.
good. Yeah, you
Back to work.
She lost weight.
Yeah,
Through the- when she got
looks-
sick and lost weight.
right.
You know, when we both had
Yeah.
COVID, that
You're
time
looking
and
at
you was
him
helping
like,
us-
and what?
No.
Well, he's using Ozempic, so that's how he's losing.
Yeah. But when we both had COVID, we lost weight. You know, and
Yeah.
I was like, if they put that shit in a pill, I'll
Oh
take
God.
Oh my.
I'll
Well, he
take
has
a
to shoot
COVID pill.
himself.
Mm.
Yeah, the Ozempic makes me shoot myself.
Oh,
But
geez.
it's okay.
All right.
Not make
Well.
you want to shoot yourself.
Oh,
Oh,
gee.
the other way.
So we're here and we made it.
Yeah, we made it.
And we
That's
made
the
it
most
on
important
time.
part.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
We've been on time every time.
Oh yeah, you have.
and we,
Yeah.
and we
Absolutely.
left early enough to get something to eat.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
You guys think.
Yeah, we stopped
I
at
know.
little Tim Hortons.
Everybody happy.
We didn't go
Yeah.
to that other place where the
That other
that
place.
one place.
yeah
Yeah. No bueno.
Nah.
Mm.
No. So we got a guest calling in, right?
We do. We have a really cool story today. So
We
before we get to our guest, Jen, do we have some juice?
We do. We've got a little bit
Where's
of
the
juice.
juice?
Oh,
with the juice.
I want to hear the juice.
Ooh, we've got some-
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, come on now.
Part.
That's literally her jam.
Yeah,
That's true. I mean, if you need a definition of my jam, it's pretty much right there. And then T starts. We got a little air band over there. Did I? Mean mistreater.
Can't call you a nickname, give her that.
With my mind on my money, get my money on my
Yeah,
mind.
Correct.
Say that. That's bad.
Yeah. No more Cleveland Indians.
No, right. This is
Laid
that.
back with my mind on my money,
Well, it
and my
was-
money
it
on my
was-
mind. With so much drama
I don't know
in
what the hell they're
LBC,
called
it's
now, to
kinda
be
hard,
perfectly
be a
honest
color,
with
be a lie,
Oh,
you
that's the
bleed, but
Chiefs.
I somehow, some
like
way
that.
keep coming up with funky old tracks like
Yeah.
every single day.
Chiefs kept
Man,
it.
That's such a
kick
mess.
little
But the other
something
one's
for
the
G's.
Redskins.
Hey,
Oh
make it
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
the
breeze.
Washington
Yeah,
Redskins.
they
Yeah,
Did they change that name?
Yeah,
I believe
Did
they
they really?
did.
Yes,
Now it's
Commanders.
something stupid. Oh yeah, uh-huh.
What is it?
Commanders.
Commanders?
Stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then what we
Some
got
dumb-
in the juice?
Well, you know, we're gonna start with Diddy's dumbass because it's just so
Of course.
stupid. There's so much stupidity
The
just flowing
DDA
over.
report.
Yeah,
Yes.
the DDA report.
So the one thing that made me smile when I was researching his dumbass this week is that they're finally done with bail attempts after 3.
That's over.
He's over it. The judge was beyond over it.
So
They were
May. He has to wait till May.
yes. So
Three
they
strikes
and
had
you're out.
they had started
Okay.
a 4th attempt, but they decided they're going to withdraw it. Screw it. It's not working because they requested he be sent to a private island. They said no. He requested an apartment on the Upper East Side with private security, and they said no.
Wait, really?
Yes, I swear to
Jackie
you.
cracking up.
Yes. And the judge just
I
keeps
don't know.
saying the same thing. He's saying that that they doubt the sufficiency of any conditions that place trust in Combs and individuals in his employ, like private security, to follow any conditions that they would put forward. So shout out to them for
Unless you
being
had like no
intelligent.
electricity, no internet.
I mean, really? Could
plumbing.
you imagine? Oh, I'm on a private island. It's horrible. Whatever.
Where's
So,
my
yeah.
lotion? at?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, now it gets gross. So there's been a few new John Doe accusers that have come forward claiming that they too were drugged and raped by Diddy. And these ones are really upsetting because one man claims that he was screaming and telling him to stop and that it hurt badly and was abusive beyond belief. That was his
God.
that was his
Jesus.
play-by-play of everything that went on. Another John Doe claims that he met Diddy at a New York hotel to receive payment for errands that he had run for him and was also drugged and raped. And this accuser says that he woke up during the rape and he said the most disturbing thing to him is that Diddy said, "I'm almost done. Stop moving. I'm almost finished."
Oh my God.
So
That sucker locked
This is
up.
disturbing.
it's really disturbing because
This
like, what
is
is it?
bad.
Like what is he into necrophilia? I mean, honestly, it's so disgusting and
Well, that's
so
more of it's
disturbing.
dead people.
But that's what I'm saying. He's like, don't move.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
just
he would do a dead person.
well, it kind of makes you think he would at this point. My God.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, the man could get laid. So why does
Right.
he need to do this?
right. That's a good point.
Like laid a lot,
Yeah.
not
He
just
had
like an average
J-Lo.
guy. That's
He
what I'm
had J-Lo.
saying.
Yeah.
Come
J-Lo,
on, I
come
know.
on.
Nympho.
Right?
That's
I
what
mean,
he is.
it's so crazy. So then allegations were also made by a Jane Doe much earlier, but this week their name earlier this week she changed some things around and now she's naming Jay-Z and saying that he
Yeah.
raped her. And
Wow.
she is claiming to be, that she was 13 years old at the time of the rape. She says that the rape originally occurred on September 7th, 2000 at an MTV Video Awards house party after party. And she also stated for some reason that there was an unnamed female celebrity in the room. And so if you go back in the timeline and you look, Jay-Z and Beyonce were dating at the
Beyonce,
time.
yeah.
So it kind of makes you think like, why did she drop that little tidbit for no reason?
Right.
Mm.
So there are a number of inconsistencies with the Jane Doe story, however, and Jay-Z is really taking those and fighting back. And so, but she is also not denying it. She is like, yes, there are 3 things that I did screw up on. And
Isn't one of the screw ups so that she said the identity wasn't real clear?
she had accused someone in another, a male person in another band. I think it was Good Charlotte, that she had a conversation with this person at the party.
Okay.
Oh, and he wasn't there.
He was not there. He was on tour in like Europe.
Oh,
And so that was one of the inconsistencies. And then another one is she claimed that her father picked her up after this whole thing went down. And when they talked to her dad, he was like, I have no recollection of this, like whatsoever.
He got paid.
I mean,
You
so
think
that's,
so?
so that's kind of messed up too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just,
how old is she now?
I mean, this happened in 2000, and she was 13 at the time.
Oh,
So
don't make us
so
do
she's
math.
Yeah.
Doctor, how old
add
is she
24
now?
years to that. So 37, 38. Am I doing that right? I don't know. I'm doing bartender math, so I don't know.
Oh yeah,
You
the
should
bartender
know.
You know,
math is different.
here's the thing. Whether he did this or not, the damage is already done.
Yes,
You know?
his reputation and that's what he is saying. So Jay-Z and his lawyer, they have filed requested to expedite that the case is dismissed because there's so many inconsistencies, and they're saying that she's just not credible in general.
Yeah.
But she, I mean, her story has been looked at, and so according to like the two lawyers that she was dealing with, she's quite credible, and they did a
Really?
lot of investigating.
Wow.
And she's saying that these minor details shouldn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess, you're putting yourself mentally in a different space when shit like that goes on
she
to
was
you.
only
So
13.
exactly.
So
Right.
the recall of children is
Correct.
a little fuzzy. It was a long time ago.
And like I said, where she had to put herself mentally while that was going on, I mean, that can really distort your memories of what went, of what happened. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna slight her for this. I don't know. I mean, they say that there's been over like 3,000 phone calls,
Jeez.
people saying that they were raped by Diddy or
my
abused in some
gosh.
way, and they're going through those phone calls, and they're finding people like to be credible or not credible, and they're saying even a lot of the credible people, they just can't they
They
can't
can't
like
speak on it.
yeah
It's
Mhm.
too
It's-
traumatizing, or
yes.
they've mentally blocked it out.
correct.
So if they start talking, even then the details will be kind of
Yes. And that will destroy the case. If they're going back and forth and the details are cloudy, then they're screwed. So
What about the female celebrity that was in the room?
for some reason that stuck with me. Just kind of like, do you remember on one of the first reports I did, the person said that there was a known rapper that had that usually only wears one earring but was wearing two. Like, that statement stuck with me because and now I'll look like I was like enlarging every picture of Jay-Z. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh
You're
my.
doing your own investigation.
Yeah, because I'm like, who is
You're gonna call
this?
Jen to testify.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to me. So I just, and then I'm sorry, what was the question you were asking me?
The celebrity that was
Oh
in the
yeah, so
room, female
for
celebrity.
her to drop that little tidbit,
Yeah.
like, why did you? Who could it have been? Especially if what you're
Watch
talking
this.
about
It
is
could be
Jay-Z.
J-Lo too. J-Lo
I
was mixed
can't.
up in all
I
that
don't
mess
think
too.
so.
I don't know,
I
because
don't
she
think
pretty
so.
much left his ass after the club shooting.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, this is all shady boots. I mean, this is
Yeah.
all shady boots. And the fact that Jay-Z is involved, and now, I don't know if you've seen or not, but like Will Smith has come out and he was like, I have nothing to do with P. Diddy. And like, sure, I may have gone to a party or two, but I left at 9:30. Like
I left at
I did
9:30.
not.
I was in bed.
Right. I was
Yeah.
in bed
by
already.
myself.
Well,
yeah.
but think about his parties. I think everybody went to his parties.
Yeah, yeah.
you Literally.
You
You know,
got Aretha
He didn't
Yes.
go
Franklin.
to any of the
I seen
Yeah,
parties.
T,
pictures.
did you go to the parties?
No, I
He
East
always
Coast.
stayed.
East Coast.
That was the East Coast. You know, we West.
Oh,
Even
that's
West
right.
Coast, he didn't go to too many parties,
No.
and he doesn't wear earrings.
You know,
See, so you're good. You're good.
Mhm.
but
So yeah, that
Wow.
that little statement about the female, and I'm kind of curious to see if all these allegations are going to have any impact on the Queen's little halftime performance on Christmas.
oh, she's performing too.
She's performing halftime. What is it against the? She's playing. It's in Houston, the Texans.
Oh,
The Texans game and the Ravens.
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's not doing. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
do
not
her-
the
so-
not the
Not the
who's
Super
do-
Bowl.
Yeah,
Not
who's
the
doing
Super
the
Bowl.
Super Bowl?
No, this is the Christmas day.
Yeah,
So she's
Kendrick
gonna-
Lamar is
Yeah,
doing the
Kendrick
Super
Lamar.
Bowl.
So is she
Okay.
gonna do her country music?
Yeah, she's doing her country music. She's
Mm.
promoting
Country
all
Carter
country stuff. Yeah, it's all going to be Cowboy Carter.
Mhm.
They're saying like Shabuzi's probably going to join her.
Of
Okay.
course.
And that they're saying there's going to be celebrity joiners. So people were alleging that Jay-Z might show up, but I would be shocked. I mean, I know that they showed up to the Mufasa premiere and everything all together
Mhm.
as a united front, but
Yeah.
this is a little bit different.
Yeah, things are different. Now.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
and these are some
Mhm.
pretty nasty allegations. So, I mean, 13, damn.
Wow, that's nasty.
Yeah.
It is nasty,
Mhm.
and it
Once you
just
get
keeps getting
there.
raunchier, man.
But you know, these girls can look, they can be 13 and look 18, 20
Yeah,
years
sure.
old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
The
me,
hormones in the food we eat.
Mhm.
me, I can tell, you know, I'm like,
But it's the men. It's like to see these men
Right.
like all silhouetted out with their voice changing, and they're just like, you know, and they're like, and how come you never told anybody? And like one guy was saying something about like, oh, well, he was married and he was so embarrassed that if he told his wife, like it's so emasculating and he would just rather deal with it. Like that's just so messed
now his
up.
wife is gonna be like, yeah, you're giving up the guts.
Yeah,
huh?
she's like, get that money. Yeah.
Yeah. Get that money.
Talk to the lawyer. Get that money. Let's go shopping. Yeah.
That is, you know, it's terrible.
Where's your beat, Jen?
You know, I've been kind of screwing with GarageBand. I'm not really sure how to use it, but I've messed with it.
All right,
I
that's
didn't
right.
forget about it.
Kind of had a little
Who'd you
rap
make
going
that
on
beat
there.
for? I still got it. It's still in my head. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
still there.
So
Yes.
that's it for the Jews.
That's it for Diddy. I mean, if you want
No,
to
You
talk
know how
about
long? Guess how long he's got?
No.
He's staying in jail till May.
Till May,
before
yeah.
the court date.
yeah, they're done. He's done. The judge, like people were saying that he was just going to keep going forward with like these bail attempts, and finally they just said, "Listen,
You know why?
they're never going to let you out."
Because now they know they found some credible stuff.
His
no
network
sense.
runs large. I mean, come on. If he's manipulating people from behind bars, it's not like it's that difficult to do, but I mean, it's he's reaching out and intimidating people and
Right.
witnesses and all this kind of stuff. and
How's he doing that?
well, he's not stealing, but he's somehow
He's
trading,
buying,
yeah.
He's buying codes
The
for
phone
phone
codes.
use
yeah.
from other inmates.
Because you have a list of people you're allowed to contact. So he's buying other people's phone codes, and then he's contacting people that he's not supposed to be contacting. And I mean, they have, which is just stupid
Yeah.
because it's not like it's not recorded either way, just because it's not your number and whatnot. All the
got
phone
your
calls
voice
are
print.
exactly all the calls
Yeah.
are still recorded. So, and that's what the feds are saying, that they have all this evidence, and that's
He's a goner.
they're not gonna let him out. They're
Wow.
just not.
Wow.
And his family, like it's so, like those girls, it's just so gross.
Yeah,
It's
you got
so
daughters, you got
gross.
sons, you know.
It's so
and then
gross.
dad's in jail for all of this nastiness.
And
And
just
the boys have noticed some stuff because they've been
Mhm.
kind of in on it a little bit.
and just the way people look at like Usher and Justin Bieber now, you
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
feel
that's
more.
true.
I feel more sorry for Justin
I
than
do
I do
too.
Usher.
I do
agreed,
too.
agreed. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think, yeah,
because Justin, you can see the effect that it had on him. I mean, he just
I think so.
But
Yeah.
He just
he's
got this-
never said anything, has
No,
he? I mean,
no.
people like read into his lyrics and his songs.
Right.
That's what I hear.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, 'cause he's
Everybody's
putting it in there. He's
interpretation.
putting
But
it
he
in there.
might now. I
But,
mean, if he feels like he's in a safe space, so to speak, you know what I mean? And if he's really,
Well, just to look at his
But-
face all sad.
Yeah.
I know,
he
you
looks like
know.
a broken man.
Yeah, he
And then
really
you see,
does.
did you see him and Diddy together? And Diddy was patting him on the chest, making sure he didn't have a wire.
No.
So
Yeah.
messed up.
And so it was crazy. He was
Wow.
like, "Hey, man, so what's going on?" He was touching him on his chest like that.
There was one interview where he's like, "Now you know you're not allowed to talk about things that go on at Diddy's place, right?" You know, and it's just it's messed up.
Wow.
Like,
All those
and the thing is,
NDAs and
we
stuff.
watched all these interviews, you guys. These were all things that were like public. They were out there, and we all watched them, and we just interpreted them so
Right.
differently because we had a
Right.
different understanding of who this man was
Right.
and what his
Right.
moral ground was.
Right.
And now we watch it back, and we're like, "What the
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
Right.
said a lot. What about the stuff he was saying? Like,
Mhm.
man, the party is over now. It's the after party.
Exactly.
Everybody got to get
Yeah,
out unless
yeah.
those are staying. So
And there's some pictures of him that I've seen where he just, I mean, he does look like he's on, like, I was like, does he have black contact lenses in? Like, what? In
right,
the
'cause he does look like
he
is.
doesn't look like the same person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess if you're, doing dudes up the butt while they're passed
Jeez.
out, you need to be on some sort of something
Oh,
to get
wow.
through life, right? You can't just go through life and be okay with that.
He can.
Wasn't he a billionaire? Didn't he get to billion?
He had got to
Us,
billionaire.
I'm sure he
had got
did.
to billionaire. And then he
Unbelievable.
came down. Dr.
Just all
Dre had got to
gone.
billionaire, and he came down
Mm-hmm.
to 400 million.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
Dre's
settle for
wife,
that.
Dre's wife got like $100 million in the divorce,
Right.
plus
Crazy.
like $2 million a month
A month.
child support.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
like, wow, you
Good
making all that
God.
money for that?
Yeah.
That's baby's worth a lot of money.
I know.
Damn.
Baby ain't getting nothing. The mama has a new product.
I'm like, what's that breakdown to a day?
Jeez, way too much. Well, that's
So-
some juicy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Diddy
We'll be
shit.
talking about that for a while, man.
You
It's
know.
gonna get nastier and nastier.
And we'll see what happens on Christmas. I mean, you never know. People
Yeah.
could fuck with her. You never know.
Jay-Z. Really
never
looking forward
know.
to seeing what's going on with Jay-Z.
Yeah. I mean, we've got more juice, but I know we've got a guest too, so I don't want to.
Yeah, we got to guess.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
guess
well,
Is
we
he
got-
ready?
yet.
Oh, is he not? Is he here? Okay. Well, then we can talk about O.J. Simpson's prison
oh
porn.
yeah,
if you
what
want.
about that?
You want to talk about that?
Wait, what?
So yeah, this one was I that's exactly what I did.
Now,
when
is
I first read
OJ
it.
dead, right?
OJ
Yeah.
is dead.
He
Yeah.
died, right.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
even though the juice is no longer with us, he is still paying off debt. There's a $33.5 million judgment owed to the victims because remember they did the civil
Right.
suit.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was in 97. And then the interest on that unpaid debt, because he hasn't done anything about it, ballooned to around 100 million.
Oh wow.
So there's that. So, and the state of California just slammed OJ's estate with a $500,000 tax lien. So the attorney and the executor of his estate, Malcolm Laverne, is decided that he's got all of OJ's prison porn. He kept it quite pristine and was apparently a large collector of magazines and videos and
Oh,
whatnot.
so not he wasn't
He
in
wasn't in the
videos.
porn.
It wasn't actually OJ
He wasn't
making
somebody's
porn.
bride.
He
He's
just
watching
has
it.
a very large collection
Okay.
of
Watching
like,
videos.
yeah,
Jeez.
videos.
Was that worth money?
We'll find
probably
out.
because it belonged
Why?
to him. Somebody
We
will
will
buy
find,
it.
and it was his
jeez.
prison stash.
33 million?
Then you got pages stuck together like.
Oh.
You got some OJ DNA.
God.
Yeah.
OJ juice.
Mhm. You know it. The juice was
Hey,
loose.
Jackie, is that cold for you?
It is.
It is. Can we push it on heat?
We got the air on.
We need some heat, man. That's 59.
So yeah, that's from when OJ was in prison in 2008 on the memorabilia. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, and so the creepy attorney is even talking about, I guess, in the stash he found some condoms, and so he's talking about auctioning those off too. So
Okay, I want to
Used or
know who buys
unused?
that.
Yeah, it's some
Okay.
freak.
Come on.
unused, and they claim that they're magnums. So
And you know,
I
Dre in
mean-
those new album is
Yes.
it's a
it's a condom.
yeah, it's a
yeah.
condom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is
It's
it
pretty
really?
sweet. Yeah.
Oh, is that what missionary?
Yeah,
that's
it's a
the name of
missionary
the album,
position.
right?
Because
Yeah,
you know the
yeah.
first album
Okay.
was Doggy Style, so now we've moved on. We're a
Oh.
little bit older, and we just
Okay.
go missionary
This
now.
is how dumb I am.
Too much work.
I thought it was like a gospel type thing.
Well, it is.
God.
I mean, because you're kind of like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So
really?
it could be.
Wait, is that
Yeah.
is the album out?
It dropped last night.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've
All
got he dropped his, let's see, they dropped the short film with Dre, also called Missionary, that dropped on YouTube. And the album, like you said. And Snoop's just been busy as usual. He
Yeah.
opened up his online cannabis, so now you can order his weed.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and have it
He
sent
is
to
all
you.
over the place.
Yep. And he opened up a dispensary. Let's see, the online one opened at 420
Yeah.
on the 4th, of course. And then he opened up a dispensary in LA called Swed, which is smoke weed every day.
Oh, jeez.
And he's got a coffee shop in Amsterdam.
He
So-
does?
Yes,
Yeah.
he does.
Oh, wow.
So-
He doing
Okay.
some
I-
shit.
I
That-
know.
I think it does more than coffee.
It might, yeah.
Mhm.
It's called a
Well,
coffee shop.
Well, Amsterdam coffee shops.
It's a hash
include
bar.
weed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I remember when we
Yeah.
first went, when I first got there, and then they have a menu, right?
uh-huh.
I was like, oh shit, I'll take some of that. I had all these little packages. And you could tell who's from there and who's visiting because the people there, they're smoking these little bitty joints. They're
Mhm.
not coughing at all. We're in the back.
Yeah, being gluttonous.
Right,
But why
right.
not? It's the first time.
Yeah, man.
got
Where
it.
were you when you had the smell bags?
That was in France.
What's a smell bag?
Okay, so you couldn't go to this place and say I want to buy some weed, but you can buy the smell bags. It was like a little burlap bag, and you feel content in it. And when you smell it, you smell weed.
Did you get high?
Well, no, when you get to your
Once you
hotel
open it
room,
up.
you open that.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
not the
Okay.
thing, but it smell bad.
That's crazy.
So
Well, that was when, like in the 90s.
yeah, that was in the
So
90s. Yeah,
was
Back
that
when
even,
it wasn't legal
No,
then.
it
No.
wasn't legal,
No.
no.
Is it legal now in Europe?
See, that's what you gain. No,
I
I know
don't
one thing.
know.
I know one thing. In Japan, I was scared from smoking. I was told, "Don't do it. Don't do
I
it."
bet.
I had a little bitty joint. I said, "I'm gonna sneak and do this," because it was a little pen joint, and I was smoking it, and I lit some incense. I'm smoking it, then all of a sudden I hear.
Oh, God.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I go to and I peek out the thing, and it's a fucking police
Mm-hmm.
with like the person from the desk. And I was like, okay, so I threw the joint in the toilet, flushed it, and I came to the door with the incense, and they were like, "Oh no, don't!" And it's what it was. You didn't see. They had secret. I mean, it's like you couldn't see that it's smoke detectors.
Right,
and stuff.
right.
So it just when they knocked, I mean, when they
They
saw
knew.
the incense, they figured that was
Mhm.
more lit, right?
Right.
So
Oh, man.
that was with the dramatics. Now I go back with Snoop and those guys.
Right.
Oh, boy.
And hold on, they start to roll up and smoke. I'm like, oh hell no! Don't y'all know you can't be doing that? I was like, well, I'm out, man. I'll be paying attention.
Right.
So I went on to my room, and they smoked all night. Didn't get no bother. And the guy from Amsterdam came down, gave them all some weed. I just missed out on everything. And they was like, T, you're
Your
old.
timing.
They said, T, you're old chicken.
Well, you know.
I didn't
it
want to go to
That's why
Japanese
he'll
jail.
never be at any party. That
No,
doesn't
hell
fit
no.
anything.
No.
Look, man, but you
I
don't
wouldn't go to
play.
Dre's
You don't
party.
play in Japan. That's no.
Yeah, man,
uh-uh.
because you never know how they want to come off
I'm
on
sorry,
you.
those police are scary
And
looking.
then the jail cells are probably kind of small.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the hotel room is small. The bed, you got this much your leg hanging
Yeah.
over the damn.
yeah, like how many people are in a cell? Y'all are packed in there like sardines.
How
and
was
Yeah.
the toilet?
The toilet
I didn't-
was little. You know, you gotta.
They squat.
Yeah, you gotta hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to squat.
But I
over
tell you
there.
what, the cleanest thing I've seen, and plus the key, you stick it in this when you come in.
Mhm.
You stick it in the wall. It's a key holder, and that runs your lights.
Mm.
So you could never forget your key because the lights stay on. You know.
Mhm.
And it was kind of unique. And when you took a shower, it was a big circle of clearness. Everything else had the steam.
Crazy.
But yeah, one part I was like, man, this is unique.
Wow.
They had some,
Technology.
you know, and then there's cigarette machines all outside everywhere. Vending
and beer.
machines.
Yep.
Yeah, beer and everything
Vending
like that.
machines
Yeah,
all over
totally
my friend's
different.
side. Yeah.
But I found my Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's all.
Nice.
Because their food, man, it's just too
Oh.
weird.
It's a little
Mhm.
strange. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Lots of seaweed.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
different. It did. So Kentucky Fried Chicken every day was pretty cool.
I heard that's what Michael Jackson liked to eat
Kentucky Fried
KFC.
Chicken.
all day long.
Ooh.
Really? Wow.
That's
Really?
creepy.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's not creepy. Yeah.
Michael
Look,
Jackson's
now
all
everything's
creepy.
creepy. You know.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
He's
I don't
gone.
remember the source. I just kind of read it. It's like,
Yeah.
T,
could
you
be
want
wrong.
to talk about the drones?
What about them drones, man?
Okay.
Have you been seeing anything?
Yeah,
about,
I saw it on the news. What is that about?
So
though?
first it started in New Jersey, but now it's like kind of all along the East Coast, and it is kind of freaky
have you
because
heard about the drones, Jay?
Yes. And I'm tired of hearing what's the government going to do? The government knows about the drones. Come
Yes.
on. Like, do you really think they're sitting back going, oh, we don't know. We
Well, they
don't know. I'm
were.
sick of hearing the news about
They
the
were,
to
but I heard
me,
The
Trump
news
said,
is just so fear based.
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
telling you that
yeah.
I feel
was
like
tired
it's
of
like a
hearing
flash
about
mob. You know what I mean? I feel like
I
it's
keep
somebody
thinking
that's like, okay,
Elon Musk probably did mushrooms and he's out there with his
Right,
toy.
They said Trump
he and
said,
Trump, yeah.
Trump says, say who you are, or we're gonna start shooting them down.
Well,
They're
they said they
trying.
thought that one landed in New Jersey somewhere in like Somerset County, but I don't think they ever recovered anything. But I know I was watching like the beginning of the news story where they were like had a spot roped off in the woods and they were
Like,
going
do you
to look
guys
for
really
it.
believe that the government does not know what's going on? Do you
I
really
mean, they
think
act
that?
like it.
I
They
just
gotta
think,
know,
know.
but
I just think
do you
it's very strange that they're not even making any sort of statement about it,
Well, that's
and
what I'm
it's
saying.
weird that they're so damn big. Like that's
Yeah.
what people are saying that
Yeah, they
these things
said
are
they're
like
big
and they're
huge.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say like the size of a car almost. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, maybe it's aliens. Hey,
I mean, well,
I'll
that's
welcome
kind of
them.
scary.
Yeah.
I
That'd
welcome
be
her.
fun,
Yeah,
wouldn't
well,
it?
yeah.
I mean, the FBI is
Make some
involved
new
in it now,
friends.
Wow, that would be
I guess.
Invite her
crazy
to the
as hell.
shows.
New
See?
music.
Yeah,
New
don't
music,
want to
new
shoot them
instruments.
down because it might, fall
Right.
and kill somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they said. They shoot them down over the water.
They're
but not-
talking about some sort of nets and over the water, but
Yeah,
I
you have to do
mean,
it over the water. The people in the States can't do that because that's
correct.
off shore.
Over what?
That's
Yeah.
not.
We're screwed.
So
I mean,
that's-
well, we're not. We can just get them out. If we could fan them out to the borders of the state, we're good.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on. Man, this
I
some
don't
weird
know.
shit. I wish it's aliens, though.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, I mean, just cause some new shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, some new shit to be
That
scared
you
of.
can collaborate with.
Right.
Now
Somebody
that
with
now
some
that we've
Well,
dealt
you
with
did-
It might be
COVID,
cool.
You
Music
did that with that
Yeah.
other guy
They
that
might be
does that
cool.
alien stuff. When you and
with me and Darren McCarty.
you and
Yeah,
T-Mac
we did
that
that.
song.
Yeah,
The
did
other
that
guy.
alien song.
You did?
We did a song.
We're actually we're gonna get Darren McCurdy on the show.
yeah, we're
next-
getting.
next
Yeah, we got to
spring,
get him on
for
here.
sure.
yeah.
I
So
want to hear
look-
his music. How come he hasn't been on Hyped Up?
Darren's music.
Yeah,
He's
didn't
all
know.
over the place.
Isn't he in a? He's the singer, the lead singer, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
about that.
Doesn't
part.
he play guitar too or something?
I didn't know
Well,
all
you guys
that.
got to get him on Hyped Up.
All I know.
Well,
is he
you
got-
were on a lot of gummies that
Well,
night.
he
Dave.
plays hockey stick.
Yes.
Hey, I know
Air,
one
air
thing.
guitar.
I know
Yeah.
one thing. I didn't look at him as being the superstar that he is.
Yeah.
Until I seen him on the commercial, the Bernstein.
Oh yeah,
But he had his 3 championship rings
Right.
on.
yeah.
And when you see that,
Yeah.
that puts you on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
Oh,
but he
yeah.
also lived in a storage unit at one point. So you got to keep it all in perspective.
Yeah. Damn.
You know?
At least he didn't sell his jewelry though. A lot of guys
Truth.
sell their rings.
Truth. That's very true.
Yeah. Oh, Darren, you lived in a. We got to get him on here and talk
Was it in
about
Canada?
that.
No. Well, I don't know where it was exactly, but yeah, that I heard there was a time when he wasn't doing super well, y'all.
Well, yeah,
I
they said he
mean,
was drinking real bad.
yeah, and
Yeah.
doing some other things.
So we'll get him
probably.
on here and
Looks like he
spill
made
all
a
of
comeback though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he,
he
did.
did. He
Yeah,
did.
he
Yeah.
totally did.
it. And him and Tony Green made good friends. So
Yeah.
that
He
was really
did.
good.
Yep.
Right.
That's my man.
I
for
mean,
real.
he even
Mhm.
started wearing braids like you.
Yeah.
Did he really?
You wearing braids, but not like me.
Nobody
Same
wears braids like
hairdresser.
He
you,
only
Steve.
has hair like on one strip of braid. Like,
Oh, man.
Yeah,
What color is it going to be?
probably red again.
Yeah, his is red.
Mhm.
What else you got?
So
for us,
Jackie, what
Jen?
you got?
Anything
over
else?
there? You look like you got
Well,
something.
you want to talk about something nice before we talk to Buzzy?
Sure.
So we've got a new food bank that's opening up downtown, and I really like it because it's not a self-sustainable food bank situation. This place is called Fresh, and it's going to be opening up on 8 Mile. It's actually in Warren,
Okay.
but it's just north of Detroit on 8 Mile. So
Uh,
it's an innovative concept that's going to make free, fresh food available to people living in Wayne and Macomb counties 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they're hoping to have it set up and running by early 2025. So it's going to be set up like a grocery store so that the clients can come in and choose the items that they want
yeah.
so that they can deal with.
24/7. So that means when you're smoking and you get the
Mhm.
munchies, you can
Yeah.
eat healthy.
See?
That'd be good.
Yeah.
There you go.
You
Yeah,
have to be
exactly.
a client, though, right?
You have
Mhm.
to be, well, you have to live in either Oakland, or I'm sorry, Wayne or Macomb. And I'm sure that there's going to be you're going to need to apply for some
Some
sort of
kind of
something to,
criteria.
yeah, correct.
Oh, so it's like a
Um,
membership type.
I mean,
thing.
I
But
would
I
assume
think is it free stuff, though? 'Cause
it's
a
free
food
stuff.
bank.
free?
Yes. It's a food
Well,
bank.
that's
It's
why there's
free.
probably
Oh,
criteria in terms of
Almost like EBT
income
or
or
something like
something.
why
that.
would they
yeah.
do 24/7? I wonder.
because some people
Well, especially
get
people
there.
that have crazy job and crazy hours and stuff like that. And you
Yeah.
know,
or crazy transportation.
exactly.
Yeah.
So is
the-
this like a government funded?
it's
Store?
through Gleaners Community Food Bank.
No.
Gleaners.
So
Yeah,
they're going to be
Mm.
dealing with like local
Gleaners is Howard
farmers.
Hurt's son.
Okay.
He's got a lot to do with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So a lot of like local farmers like doing donations, and a lot of it's donation
Oh,
based and that kind of
cool.
thing. So
Could be
That's
stuff
so
they didn't sell
cool.
at
Yeah,
Eastern
that's really
Market, and it's,
right,
Okay.
exactly.
Mhm.
So, and this way people can go in and pick what they need and not get handed like a box, because that's what usually happens at most of these
with
places.
the random stuff.
Yes, that they're
Mm.
never going to use, and then they throw it away.
Right.
So they can get what they need. They can meet their dietary restrictions and stuff like that. So they're going to have fresh produce, dairy, and milk, and you can. They're
Wow.
even going to have, which I think is cool, pre-order curbside pickup and a weather protected drive-through and refrigerated
Wow.
lockers that will let you pick it up like pick your orders up whenever.
Oh my god.
So I thought that was very thoughtful.
that is
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
a lot of the food banks give you like non-perishables instead of like,
Correct.
produce and milk and
Mhm.
cheese and
Correct.
stuff like that. They just give you a box of this, a jar of that.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes,
just-
like boxed mashed potatoes and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is just, it's such a better idea, like for,
That's
for
awesome.
kids and
Yeah, I mean
That
that's
kind
good.
of
A lot
thing.
a lot of poor.
Yeah.
It's a
When
lot
is
of
that
poor.
opening?
they're opening early 2025.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to get a bread maker.
Okay.
You
They
already
they make
ordered it.
wee
No, I
loaves
didn't
of
order
bread.
it yet.
No, she
Oh,
ordered the
yeah.
washing machine.
Yeah.
All right, T.
Don't
She
put the
just
bread
told you
in
what
the
she wants
washing
for
machine.
Christmas.
Don't do
Yeah, I
that.
guess you
Don't
gotta
do
do
that. Yeah.
My sister said she wants the bread maker, and then she was like, my sister said, "But where are we gonna put it? You know,
Yeah.
there's so much stuff."
In the
Mhm.
washing machine.
Yeah,
No,
in
you
On
put
top
it
of the
on-
washing
No,
machine.
you put it on the back porch when I'm not making bread.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Well, hey guys, thanks for the juice, Jen.
Of
Yeah,
course,
Jen, a lot
of
of juice
course.
on that.
We
I
have
like
You
that.
know, you
We have a
know.
guest.
We do.
Oh, we
Yes,
have him.
we
And
have a
there he
guest.
is.
Is he here already?
Can he join us
I
now?
see our guest.
We-
Hooray! Very special guest.
very
He's smart
He's
like
smart
Einstein.
like Einstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
How you
So,
doing, Doc?
Hello, Buzzy.
hello.
Hey, happy holidays. Greetings from Northern California.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you
Greetings
for
from the
being
armpit of
here.
Michigan.
Absolutely.
It's early in California right
It's
now.
a
but-
little early, but for you guys, I got up to
Aw.
ready to rock and roll with you guys.
There you go. But it's got to be a lot warmer than it
Well,
is here.
Northern California, I don't know. It could
Oh,
be
is that cold?
It can get chilly. No, right now it's about, I don't know, 50 degrees, so that's not bad. I'm sure it's,
Oh,
different
okay.
back there, but
Okay.
I'll
well,
take
let me
50.
introduce our guest
All right.
because we have a great story here. So, Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others."
Mm.
Buzzy Martin embodies this idea. A self-taught musician, Buzzy began playing guitar and piano at 13, and by 15, he was captivating audiences as a lead singer and a multi-instrumentalist. From touring with iconic bands like Santana and Journey to producing his own music, his journey is more than musical success. It's about how he uses his passion to inspire and change lives. Welcome to Roadwork Records, Buzzy Martin. Woo!
thank you. That's
Thank
pretty
you for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks for being here.
great. I'm
Um,
very happy to be here.
So I have the book and I was sharing it with my team here. I read it over the summer. Don't shoot, I'm the guitar man.
Right.
And it's such a cool story. I want to get into the book and the movie, and congratulations on all of that, by the way.
Yes.
And just all the accolades you're getting and the attention, well deserved for everything you've been doing. But I do want to start with, how did you end up working with at-risk kids? Like, how did it go from touring, writing, producing, releasing, a rock and roll star? You're living the dream that everybody wants to do, to working with at-risk kids. And what defines at-risk?
Well, that's a good question. What defines at-risk kids? Well, I started doing open mics. I was running 5 open mics a week, which I don't know if your audience is aware of that, but it's like I was the host and people would come in and either tell poetry, sing, dance, whatever. And
Okay.
so one night, these 10 kids came in all dressed the same. And I was being a little funny because I went up to them and goes, "Are you guys in a band or what's the deal?" And they said, "Well, we're group home kids." And I said, "What's a group home?" Because I wasn't at that very second of my life aware of what a group home was to kids. And so they explained to me. And then the staff came up and said, "Well, why don't I come over and play some music for you guys?" And so that was the start of the journey. So I started going to this group home, which got the word out to everybody that Buzzy was doing this. And then one day, one of the teachers at a court and community school. Now, I'm sure you have them back where you are too. Court community schools are 2 steps above juvenile hall.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was invited to go to one of these community schools and started playing music for these 15 boys and girls that were at risk. And at risk at that very moment was just kids that were basically,
Wasn't doing good.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. They just weren't doing good. And so they were hoping to get them to where they would do better. And then if they didn't, then we go to juvenile hall. So I would start teaching these kids just to sing. I would you know, being from Michigan, Motown was a big deal. So I would sing things like My Girl.
Okay.
And these kids had to sing My Girl. So
Right.
where I'm from, it's Nortes and Sureños, Bloods and Crips. And so I'm
Yeah.
getting these young kids as young as 8 years old that want to go to prison singing with each other. So once that word got out, then it was like on fire. I had juvenile hall and probation camp call me, ask me if I'd be willing to go and work with these kids. And so I started doing that for free because they're never going to pay anybody to work with these kids to make them
Better.
rehabilitated. That's just
Well,
not.
What
and then-
made you? What drove you to do that though, especially for free?
I just feel like every kid deserves to be a kid. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. My dad worked at the General Motor plant, Plant 1, 2 blocks from my house. And so I just felt like if I could do this, if I could play music and succeed, then why not show that gift to other kids and give them hope? Because these kids that I work with don't have hope.
Right.
And so that was my impetus to try to change their life and their heart, to give them a little positive reaction from an adult. And through the gift of music, I was able to reach these kids' hearts. And so that was my deal, because at a certain point, I'm making money playing music. I never played music for free. That just never was in my world. So I've always been an entertainer, singer, musician. And so and I have a great wife, which I call her my June Carter Cash, because she allows me to be me, which is a really big deal. So she allowed me to go work with these classes until one point I put a nonprofit together, and I have a lot of musician friends of mine that I don't want to start dropping names, but you would know all of them. And so they would do concerts for my nonprofit, and that would raise money for me to go work with even more kids and be able to donate keyboards and guitars and help these kids, because they come from a lot of poor families and they can't afford a guitar or a keyboard, or the dad's not going to put money up for this. So I would just give it to them. So to answer the question, I just felt like, it's a gift to play music, and most people don't understand that it really is a gift. And I love giving my gift back, to have people smile. It used to be to dance. That was a great thing, but now it's like to make move your heart through music. That's everything.
So I was going to ask you, so it is a nonprofit then?
It was a nonprofit. Yeah. I mean, I did let it go in 2007, because at that point of the game, I was either going to do another concert with my buddies like Sammy Hagar and Night Ranger. Oh, I just dropped it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done so, but,
we've heard of them.
Yes, Sammy did a really great concert for us and did really well. But at this point, so I have this manuscript in my left hand, and do I do another concert again? I just felt like I want to take this higher. Just not in Sonoma County where I live, but I want to be able to do this all around the country. And in order to do this, I have this book, or this manuscript that I wrote, that I just felt if I could get into a book form, I could possibly change kids' lives. And so that's where the dividing came from me. We're like, I got to give up the nonprofit so I can do something bigger.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so from there, how did you end up in the prison system working with inmates?
Well, let's clarify that. I went home every night. So
no Diddy.
Not technically in the prison system.
Right. I didn't.
Yes. Working with inmates in the prison system.
And so, working in court, that was good. Working in court community schools, and then juvenile hall. One day, one of the teachers at juvenile hall said, I have this friend that is in San Quentin in the arts corrections program, and they want to start a pilot program for music. Would you consider teaching music in San Quentin?
Wow.
And I just thought, well, again, I work with kids as young as 8 years old, which I'm sure you have in your cities too, that want to go to prison. Let me say this one more time, really slow. 8-year-olds that really want to go to prison.
I highlighted that part in the book, and I was going to ask you about that, because I was shocked that you said in the book
it is
that
shocking.
Kids want to go to prison.
It's
They
very
like it's
profound.
like a badge of honor.
It's a badge of honor,
It's just
because their dad is in county jail,
Right.
Their uncle is state prison. Their brother's in juvenile hall. This is great.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, again, you got to have some kind of goals and hope and believe in yourself. And if you don't, well, maybe somebody else believing in you would help. So I thought, okay, let's do it. So I contacted the lady that was going to be my future boss, and she said it'd be a 12-week pilot program, and if it went really good, then we'll just extend it. So that's how the invitation came about. So it was a 12-week program that went 3.5 years.
So you went home and told your wife, "Hey, honey, guess
Yep.
what? I'm going to kick it up a notch."
That's about how I went. Yeah, I just said, I had this great opportunity, and how do you feel? And again, she believes in me enough to allow me to do this, which is an amazing thing for my heart. And so, I mean, a lot of people have asked my wife, so what did you do while he was in prison? She said, I held my breath for 3 hours.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Because it's a heavy deal, but she believed in it, that it would help, and it did help. But it's, going into a state institution, I don't know if the gentlemen have or not, but it's like going to the moon. It's a whole other deal.
It's definitely different. We used to play the prisons with the
Okay,
dramatic.
you would know.
Yeah.
And play my girl.
Yeah. No, be my girl.
My girl.
Oh, yeah,
No, don't be my girl.
it's an adult theme. Yeah. I'm going to be very cautious how I walk with you guys talking, but
Yeah, right.
I have seen things and experienced things in prison
Yeah.
that you can't wrap your mind around.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it really is a whole other world. And these kids do not really understand because it's been such glorified dealing. So anyhow, that's your question. So that's how it started with me. Was I had the invitation to start 12 weeks. And the moment I walked behind the walls of San Quentin, it was life-changing.
Wow.
Forever and ever.
Which way? How was it?
Now I know what freedom is.
Right. There you go.
Oh.
This right now is freedom. The way we dress, the way we talk, we're going to eat. We don't have to worry about anybody raping us while we're sleeping or taking a shower or beating us up over our food or intimidate and manipulating us. And that also means officers.
Right.
Because that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I felt that, when I talk to kids, and I'll try to be as gentle as possible, you're going to do things in prison that you normally wouldn't do, not because you're gay, but because I want to see the look on your face.
Right.
It's all about intimidation and manipulation. And this is what kids don't understand because it's survival of the fittest. And I've seen that firsthand, to where it's like the manipulation and the power plays among everybody is very, very. We have a lot of rain and flooding going on, so that's what's happening.
Okay.
It was on time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
That almost seems set up there.
There's been fires. But so for me, it was life changing because I really live by the moment now. I really understand what freedom is, what prejudice is. Why do people hate other people because they don't look the same? Growing up in Michigan, the thing that I hated in Grand Rapids was, if you ain't white, you ain't right. And I never understood those words because I don't understand prejudice. Where when in prison, the blacks hate the browns hate the whites hate. We're in prison. I mean, come on.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You would think it would be more of an equal playing field.
No.
Wow.
It's magnified.
Go back to your friend that was inside an institution. He would know. The prejudice is alive and well. And then you have the officers. You never want to call them guards. You want to call them officers, because in California, the officers union in correctional services is the largest union in the state. These guys got power. So I learned very quickly what to do and not do. And I take that with my life now. I mean, when I go to the gym and guys are complaining about life, I say, we could be cellmates. And they laugh. And it's like, there's 1,000 ways to get arrested and spend time in prison. Right. And when you get in prison, you got to fight for your life.
Yeah, see.
And that's what I learned about being institutionalized. You have to fight for every moment in your life, whether you're a female or a male. It's still the same game.
Yeah.
And its incarceration is alive and well. And then when you put the thing of your money to the state, that's even worse. And so I just felt that at that point of the game, I am bringing change to the world of incarceration just through having these conversations with you, that your audience will hear these words and think, you've got to be kidding me. Right. And then you put in the part of private for-profit prisons, and I'm sure you have them back in your state too. It's real icky. And we're incarcerating people just for the sake of money and having stock in them like cows. And you know, it's just really bad. So that's how I felt by going into prison. What I got of it was a sense of just the freedom and doing things that most people don't understand as normal.
Yeah.
You know, not being afraid to go to sleep. These guys, I had one officer tell me, you know, these guys here come in at 19 years old and you sleep with one eye open.
Yeah.
And by the time they're 20, they're old men.
Wow.
If you think about that, I don't know if you have ever been scared to the point of laughing. But right? These guys got it. They got, when you're so scared that you're jittery and laughing, that's how I was for 3.5 years, because I never knew if there was going to be a riot, a lockdown, a fight in my class, somebody's going to shank me. And for your audience, a shank could be a pencil. And what they do is they either urinate on it or they defecate on it, and then they stab you with it, which that way is an immediate infection in you. That's what they do. Right. I love this guy's face over here. He's just like looking at me going,
well, the big eyes. The book, Don't Shoot, I'm the Guitar Man. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it all over. You did a great job with the book in terms of, I could feel the nerves. I read it over the summer, and when I was reading it, I could feel the way you described, just from when you checked in to walking to the room where you were going to teach, like the hair standing up on your back, because you're nervous, and you did a great job of making you feel that, being able to feel that as a reader. And it's an easy read too. So when you started, did you put together your own program, or did they tell you what to do? Like, how did you know what to do?
Well, I did put together my own program. And the reason I knew what to do is because I'd already done a couple of years working with kids at risk in juvenile hall and probation camp, court community schools. So these guys in prison are just basically growing up at-risk kids.
Yeah.
They have a third grade reading level. So it wasn't hard for me to walk in and go, okay, here's what we're going to do. So it depends on where you are. If you're in the main line, that means that I'm dealing with lifers. So they could actually have their own guitars and bring them back to their cells. So I would find out who did play guitar and who didn't play guitar, who sang, and I would go for all those points. So if you sang really well, I wasn't going to have you sing. I'm going to put you on guitar that you don't know how to do so I can teach you.
Right. Yeah.
If you don't sing, I'm going to have you be the singer. So I can teach you how to sing. And that way I would just kind of go right into their hearts and teach them like I would teach kids.
Well, good for you, man.
Wow.
And it worked because, again, what I try to explain to people is we talk so much about prisons and jails, but we don't discuss how they got there. And it's the kids in juvenile hall that I feel that we really have to try to help uneducate and unlearn what they've been taught.
Right.
Because, through the gangster movies and the music and TV, they've been taught stuff that's not really real. It's not real. This is not how we deal with in society. So for me, it was like, teaching adults like they were kids. So when you talked about feeling it and smelling it, there's a smell in prison where there's no air because everything's locked up.
Yeah.
And you got body odor, bad breath, guys farting, all this stuff, and you can't, and it's true, but you can't. It's all you smell because everything's locked up.
Right.
So they become kids really fast. In the movie, when it comes out, there's a part in there where these guys will come in the doorway, and they're all just major macho guys, manly men, what I call them. They're just really manly men. And as soon as they get through the door, they become 8-year-old kids.
Wow.
Because the officer's not there. It's just me and them guys. And they become real funny and picking their nose and doing. And it's like, it was weird to see this transformation of that. And then go back to juvenile hall the next day. And then I would see these little kids trying to be macho and bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, the guys in prison wanted to go home. The guys in juvenile hall wanted to go to prison.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's just
And it's
crazy.
like that all over the country. I mean, I'm sure it's in your city too.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Right,
sure.
right.
Yeah.
Right
Gotta
here. And
like
so I just felt like I've lost my innocence, but I gained my freedom. And that's what I try to express to people, that there's 1,000 ways to get arrested. There's 1,000 ways to get incarcerated.
Mhm.
It's like, I give guitar lessons. I'll start doing guitar lessons in an hour here. And I make sure that if little kids come, their parents have to be in this room with me the whole time.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't want to jeopardize anything over some kid being stupid or the mom and dad doing whatever. So I safeguard that stuff. We live in a whole other world now.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's all about the money and incarceration. So that, to answer your question, that's how it just affected me, of the freedom factor. I
Mhm.
really feel bad for my fellow dark-skinned brothers and sisters that have a really terrible life because they're always eyed by the police, and they're always in fear of that. And being a white guy, I'm really embarrassed sometimes of how America treats our fellow brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm going to bring to the table, is that, we have to make a change. Jackie, you've heard me enough. I always say education, not incarceration, because it's just never worked. It's never going to work. And, I don't know what's going to happen next year, but I have a funny feeling they're going to fill them up.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're
Wow.
already ready to fill them up.
So
Mhm.
After he
how-
lets out a bunch of January 6 people.
how did the movie come about?
Okay, so when you said you read my book,
Yes.
oh, hello, here we are. Hey, there's a big picture of me.
Very
So
fancy.
how it came about was I wrote. So I had I'll back it up a little bit. So when I would go to San Quentin, I had a little cassette tape player, kids. That was how old I am. And I would talk into the tape player and say what date it was, what happened that day in juvenile hall, or what I was hearing on the radio. And then when I get to San Quentin, I would call my wife and say, I'm going to go in now. And then I would call her when I get out. And then I get back on the tape player. And as soon as I got out, I would call my wife, get on the tape player after I hung up, and then just purge what happened that night. I would
Mhm.
throw up, I would cry, I would tell all the stories, and then I would go home. So I did that for 3.5 years, right?
Wow.
So when the program ended, I had these 9 90-minute cassette tapes. So I started writing everything verbatim on what I was hearing. And then one of my guitar students' mom said, well, why don't I put that on computer for you? And then she came back and said, here you go. And I went, oh my God. She goes,
Wow.
you have a manuscript.
Right. This
And
is a movie.
what is a I'm not I'm not an author. I'm just a musician. What is a manuscript? And
Oh wow.
through it and
Oh.
went, oh my God. And so I got the manuscript and I started, don't have like my neighbor or somebody that I really didn't know too well say, hey, could you do me a favor? Could you read this and tell me what you think? And so they would read it. They give it back and go, hey, I got to tell you, man, it's not like you were talking to me. I couldn't put this book down. I couldn't put the manuscript down.
Right. Yeah.
And this should be a movie. So I heard that for a while. And then when I studied about juvenile hall, do I do another concert or do a book? That's when I said to my wife, honey, let's put this on our Visa card and get books so I can sell them to help change the world. And she said yes. And so we ordered 2,500 books. And now if you have anybody in your audience, listen to these words very carefully if you want to do it and want to write a book. So we ordered the books, 2,500, got them, and I started selling them. I didn't give them away. I sold them. If you're my friend, you should support what I'm doing.
Right.
What I
Right.
did do is I gave out 400 books to all the juvenile hall directors in the country, and I kept track of who they were. In the meantime, one of my friends, which was the director at a juvenile hall here in town, got my book, read it, and his wife worked for Penguin Books as a seller. So
Okay.
she gave one of those books to one of her friends that worked at Penguin because it was a musician. That was the connection.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
oh yeah. So now I'm going on my merry way, and this has been now a year and a half since the book's come out. And one of my friends at the gym goes, "You know what Facebook is?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, you're a social butterfly. You should get on Facebook." And now, mind you, I wrote everything by hand. I never had been into a computer. My wife does that. My son does it. I don't.
Mhm.
Everything's by hand and piece of paper, pencil. So my wife said, "Okay, I'll get you set up on Facebook, but I'm not going to do it for you." So I said, "No problem." So I learned how to do it a little bit. And then there was a woman named Patty, and I can't remember her last name. She worked for Mayor Gavin Newsom. So I thought, no brainer, I could get it into the San Francisco Juvenile Hall because I already got into the Sonoma County Juvenile Hall and so a number of juvenile halls around the country, Grand Rapids, Michigan, so on and so forth.
Mm.
So I contacted Patty and said, "I got this book, blah, 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 blah." She goes, "Well, send me a copy." So I sent her a copy. She called me 2 weeks later and said, "I couldn't put your book down. This
Yeah.
sounds like you're talking to me. And I have some friends in San Francisco that make movies. You should send them a book." And so here I go. I send the movie producer and director each a book. And he calls me 2 weeks later again and says, "I couldn't put your book down. Sounds like you're talking to me, and I'd like to make a movie."
Wow.
We
Wow.
went down to San Francisco, met with Ray Robinson, talked to him. Wonderful guy, brokered the deal. I'm driving back from San Francisco. We pull over in Sausalito. I call my buddy that works for Penguin Books and said, "You're never going to believe this, but I just brokered a movie deal for my self-published book." He goes, "I have an idea. Send me 2 books." So now I send him 2 books. And a week later, he was in Florida for a Penguin book meeting. He ran into the editor-in-chief and the vice president of Penguin Books, gave them each a book, told them my story. That Saturday, we were supposed to fly back to New York. There was a snowstorm. They had a layover. And so you know what they did? They read the book.
Right.
Monday morning, I wake up to a book deal.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so
Everything aligned.
Yeah.
everything aligned. And because people ask me, "Well, who's your literary agent?" I said, "I don't have an agent."
Unbelievable.
Right.
It just happened, it just
Yeah.
happened. And even if I didn't write the book, it should have been out there anyhow, because, there's a lot of prison books. There's a lot of rock and roll books, but there's no prison and rock and roll books. Same as
Right.
same as the movie. There's no rock and roll prison movies. But when you put the gift of music and incarceration together, you can make miracles. Gifts happen.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's how it got started. Of where did this all come from? It was kind of fluky how it happened, but I just felt like in the air it was supposed to happen. I was
Oh,
supposed
yeah,
to do
Right.
for sure.
Without a doubt.
So the movie, is it done?
Yeah.
Where
Okay, so the movie,
Mhm.
the movie, yeah, and you're right. The name of the book is called "Don't Shoot, I'm the Guitar Man." The
Right.
name of the movie is called Guitar Man, and
Okay.
the movie's done. Won 17 independent film festivals.
Nice.
They've just wrapped
Wow.
up everything now of the light sound and what is the other grading? I'll think of it in a second here, but because everything's filmed out of context, so you have to make sure that when you see the movie, all the light and sound and everything is the same all the way through.
Mhm.
And that takes some time and money.
Yeah.
So who played you?
So his name is John Parsons, and he's a Bay Area musician, actor, a voiceover guy. And there was a lot of talk initially who should play Buzzy Martin, and the names of everybody from Kevin Bacon to Sean Penn to Eric Roberts.
Oh, wow.
And I just, because they asked me about it, and I just felt like, I would like to get somebody that nobody knows because it's more believable. I
Mhm.
just felt like if you had Sean Penn playing me, it's Sean Penn playing me.
Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah.
So they went with John, and John knocked it out of the park. There are some, the one that plays my wife, her mom is Shelley Long, which was obviously in Cheers.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
There's a lot of actors that you would know by doing character
Mhm.
acting stuff. But the guy that played me is John Parsons, and he did a great. He's a musician. He's got better hair than me. He's got real nice long hair and stuff.
You got pretty nice hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
hair.
man, the hair. You rocked out with the hair, man.
But yeah, it was great for the cast and crew because they really got to put their teeth into this. Because again, the subject matter is really intense. When you have kids, at-risk kids, that want to go to prison and being locked up, there's a problem.
Right.
And so there's not really per se any music classes for those kinds of clientele.
Yeah.
With the regular schools, I'm sure there's music classes, but for at-risk kids, there's not a lot.
No.
Right.
So, in that aspect, the movie's going to open up some minds because it shows what happens when I left prison to go home, or if I left these kids and they went back in the streets.
Right.
Mhm.
It's not, it's not pretty.
So
And,
what does the program do for the kids? Like what do they like what changes did you see with kids?
oh man. Okay. So I've seen kids come alive, and what I would do is thank God for Reese's peanut butter cups because so I would say, hey Jackie, come up play the conga drum. And you're gonna say very explicitly, go swimming. I'm gonna use those words.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because this is we're just gonna use it very lightly.
Right.
Go swimming or up your nose. That's
Right. Yeah.
I say, well, just come on up, Jackie. Well, you're a homegirl. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to do this. And I say, I'll give you 2 Reese's peanut butter cups. You don't get those in juvenile hall.
Okay. Yeah.
You go, okay, make it 3. I'll come up. I say, okay, because your world is intimidation and
Right.
manipulation, and you've gotten away with this all your life, and you're 15 years old, and you don't give a crap about me.
Wow.
So I just call your bluff and I go, okay, I'll give you 3. Come on up. So now he gets you up and you got to play the conga drum, and I'm going to have you sing My Girl with me. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Well, and you
Go
got
on, T, sing.
Yeah, T, that's you right there.
to go and give her the chocolate. And now this guy over here goes, hey, yo, I want one of those chocolates. The party started. It's already done. I got you being kids.
Yeah.
That's a big deal because now you're kids. You're no longer this tough bravado. You've dropped all that, and now I've got you to be a kid for a minute. You're laughing and you're eating your chocolate, and that's all I can ask.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I can get you to be a kid for just a moment, that's everything. And when you keep this up 25 or 30 years later, when I see adults at some place and he's all tatted out and he watches me and goes, hey, yo, is your name Fuzzy? or is your name Zippy or Ziggy? I know what the next is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you my music teacher in juvenile hall? It affected him.
Yeah.
And that's everything. And then they'll say to me, hey, this guy right here, talking to his wife, this guy taught me how to sing My Girl. I still like that song.
Right.
Wow.
Did he ask you for a Reese's peanut butter cup?
No. But that's, to me, entering these kids' hearts because a lot of these kids don't have hearts.
Right.
They're so brutalized or abused or neglected. I mean, 100% of the kids that I work with have been physically, sexually, mentally, or abused, or all above.
Wow.
And when you have that happen, you grow up to be a pretty messed up adult.
Right.
And where I live at, because it's too cold where you are, the homeless thing is huge. I'm sure you've seen it on TV. California is huge.
Yeah.
The whole thing. And a lot of those adults are my former students.
Wow.
Because they've fallen through the cracks. When you're dealing with group home kids at 18 years old, you're aged out.
Yeah.
There is no place to. Where do you go? You go on the
Nowhere to
street.
go.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for me, I seen it right in front of my eyes to have these kids melt and become kids.
Kids.
Yeah.
Just to
Wow.
let their guard down.
And it didn't take that much other than to go, would you like a Reese's peanut butter cup or come up and try this?
Right.
I mean, if this is the hardest you're going to have in school right now, is trying to play a conga drum or sing a song, that's pretty good.
Right.
And they would drop it, and I became their friend. I wasn't an authoritative person. I was their
Right. He's a
friend.
friend.
They
Yeah.
trust you.
Me.
Yeah.
And trust when you're a kid, as you, I'm seeing all four of you. At one time, you were little kids.
Mm-hmm.
To trust someone is a huge deal. To let that guard down,
Yeah.
Right.
you know. And with the girls, to be molested from their stepdads or dads or uncles or brothers or whatever, their guards are up. And so I have to be extra cautious when I'm dealing with girls because they've already been burned so bad that I don't want them thinking anything other than that. I just want you a piece of chocolate to sing some songs and have a good life.
Right.
That's it. No
Right.
more, no less.
Wow. That's
Jeez.
amazing. It takes a
Very
special kind of
commendable.
person to do what you're
Absolutely.
doing. It's incredible. So what's going to happen now with the movie? It's won a lot of awards. Like
Yeah.
when do we get to see it?
Well, hopefully you'll be seeing it sometime next spring. So there are negotiations now with distribution. So I'm not sure what company is going to pick it up, but they're talking with a number of
Mm-hmm.
the distribution companies. And once that comes out, I know that Ray wants it to go to the theaters and then streaming. So
Wow.
that's where we are right now. There's a lot of different videos that I'm looking at.
And you were happy with the movie?
Oh, more than happy. It's like to ask all four of you. So who's going to play you in your movie?
Right.
That's a weird question,
Yeah.
right? And then, there were 17 film festivals. We made 5 of them. My wife and I flew into 5 film festivals, and it was really,
Wow.
I don't want to say creepy, but it was just really weird to see somebody up on stage or up on this big screen with my name saying things that I wrote in a book with things that happened to me. I couldn't watch the whole movie. I mean, I had to leave a few times because it was too real for me.
Wow.
And I guess that's a lot. It was just way too real. And I'm not a violent guy. So as much as I go to violent situations, I don't watch violent movies. The most violent movie I've ever watched is The Ghost of Mr. Chicken with Don Knotts. And that's slasher movies. I don't watch any of that stuff.
Oh, I am too.
But, but for this movie, I'd never watched the movie all the way through because as soon as it gets weird for me, I walk out.
Really?
Yeah, because it's too real. I mean, it really, like I said, it stretches beyond what I would see in my classroom in San Quentin. So it shows what these guys have to deal with on a moment-to-moment basis when I left, or the kids when I left them at juvenile hall or their core community school, what they have to deal with when I'm not around. And
so it's you even deeper into their.
Wow.
It's pretty tough. There's a part in the movie where I cry every time because, I was influenced by one of your former guests, Charlie Hewen. Charlie Hewen.
He's amazing.
Yeah, Charlie Hewen was one of my idols growing up because he's a few years older than me. And as a kid, I would watch him perform. And at one point, I just would watch him perform and think, I'd like to do this myself. And I started doing it. And then he got picked up with Ted Nugent. And I just, if Charlie can do this, maybe I can do this. And that's where I just felt like, here goes the path right now. Here goes the journey of trying to make a change for myself and become professional.
That's great.
There you go.
Wow. And he has the highest respect for you.
I love him. I mean, he is my soul brother. He is just a sweetheart of a guy. He really is. He's changed my life in a lot of ways too. And I'm glad we got hooked back up. And then he went with Foghat for 35 years, one of my favorite bands.
Right.
Slow
Right.
ride.
And he's solo now, isn't he? Or
he's semi-retired, although I hate to tell you, I hate it when he says he's retired because he's just taking some time off. But
yeah,
you never really
no, he never retired.
Until you give him the nudge.
So, Buzzy, what's next for you?
I'm just waiting for the movie to come out. And once the movie comes out, what I told the investors was I hope the movie does so well that I can visit every juvenile hall in the country at no charge to anyone because they're not going to pay me anyhow and donate a case of my books. That's what I hope. Because it's really important that we try to really make a change. And I feel like through my book, I'm changing a whole generation's way of thinking. I mean, because I feel bad for Jackie because she would send me these pictures on a boat on a lake, and she's reading my book, and I'm thinking, oh my God, there's this really serene, place on a lake, and she's reading about prison and all these guys because it gets pretty detailed.
Great.
And I just want to make a change. I want to be able to tour, like say, do theaters at nighttime, visit juvenile halls in the daytime, do some radio shows, and try to sell my message of education, not incarceration, because I think it's really time, because it's never worked. The incarceration thing has never worked. And I've read a lot about incarceration. Matter of fact, I'll tell you, the word penance, penitentiary, right? Where'd that word come from? The penitentiary.
Bible.
I'll just tell you, the Catholic Church.
Exactly. I like the Bible.
Really?
That's a whole other glass of wine to talk about that.
How you redeem your sins.
And I don't want to talk government because my wife always says, don't get into those conversations. But the point is, the people that should be locked up are never going to get locked up.
Right.
And the people that shouldn't be locked up, and again, we can thank Ronald Reagan for this, there's no mental institutions to help these people. And we can't, the largest mental institution in the United States is Cook County Jail in Chicago. It's like we don't take care of our brothers and sisters, and people have a lot of mental health issues. That's the biggest prison. It's a mental health in prison. What are we doing? And so I hope I can bring this to the forefront, to the world stage. That's what I'm hoping the movie does so well, that I can talk and explain to people that, there should be a Buzzy in every one of our towns, teaching kids music, and all these people at the board of supervisors and these judges should go to county jail and prison to see what you're putting these people into.
Yeah.
That's what I hope in the movie.
Yeah, it's an incredible mission.
I love it. Well, when you come to Detroit, let us know because we'll go with you and we'll give out books.
I would love to. Absolutely.
Wow.
Able to do that.
Yeah, it's such an incredible mission. What advice would you give somebody who has a vision like you do, maybe not the same thing, but wants to make a huge impact like that? How do you take something so big and break it down so that you stay with it? Because what you're trying to do can get very discouraging, I think, because it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. I'm pretty thick skinned. Being a musician definitely gives you some thick skin. But, if you really believe in something, I don't care what it is, you got to jump in. This is like jumping in the cold water and going. You got to do it. I've heard no 10,000 times, but it was that one yes that said, I'm doing something right. I am doing something right. And a lot of people would discourage you on you're going to get a lot of poo-pooing on things. Oh, you can't do that. Charlie and I talked this morning and I said, when you tell people you played with Ted Nugent, do they ever go, oh no, you didn't do that. Come on, that's not possible. But it is possible. It's possible you can move mountains. You got to start with one thing at a time. And that's what I did. One kid at a time. But I realized if I can do one kid and put them in a smiley, good situation, why not 3 or 5? Why not 1,000? And so any advice I would give to anybody is if you want to write a book, you want to sing a song, do it. Don't talk about it. Get off your butt and do it. That's the hardest part. Sticking with something long enough that you see the end result. So they have a radio show. Oh, you can't have a radio show. That's not possible to do. Well, it is possible, but it takes a little time. And because I talked to Jackie, she goes, we're doing this thing. It's going to happen sooner or later. It's going to happen in October. No. Oh my God, it happened.
Right.
Right. 100%. I deal with kids now where they just go, I don't want to take guitar lessons. I just want to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or I just want to be pretty, or I want to be, I love of being successful. What is successful? To me, successful is not ODing.
Yeah, that is successful.
Truth.
Right.
Having a relationship, loving my mom and dad, not being abused. I mean, there's all these things. What is success? Because I have a lot of rock star buddies that they're going 300 days a year. They're on their 5th wife. And is that success? Well, I don't think it is. I thought it was.
Right.
It's really not success that I term success. Success is being healthy, having someone that loves you and supports you, and you support them and love them.
Right.
Feeling good about yourself, having a bed to sleep in, be able to eat. Because I work with a lot of homeless people too, and that's a whole other bag in itself. As you guys did, thanks for the program. Oh, one more thing, the boxed potatoes. I love those as a kid.
Oh, you heard us talking
Well,
about
I love it.
When you come to Detroit, we're going to have some for you.
We'll make you some. We'll whip you up some boxed potatoes.
Nothing like stovetop stuffing and hamburger helper. So I remember those
potatoes
days.
and stovetop, baby.
Well, listen, we have to wrap it up here, unfortunately. But
That's
Buzzy,
going up.
Nice
That's
meeting
going
you,
up to
Buzzy.
Blue
This
Collar
is-
Kid, you know.
this is fantastic. How can people find you and follow you and contribute and help? Like, what kind of help do you need? What would help you on your
Okay,
mission?
so what the help for me would be, you can get a hold of me, and buzzymartin.com, the website.
Which we put the link
Guitar
up.
Man Martin on Facebook. Go get my book. Get
Here's
my
the book.
book. Read it. Try to get it into your juvenile halls. There's also a lesson plan that goes with the book at no cost to download for all educators. So my feeling is that's the best thing you can do is to just read the book and get that word out that, this school should have this book to help deter kids from thinking it's cool to go to prison. That's everything, really.
Right.
I mean, because I think if we do this in every community, maybe, just maybe, we can put a dent into this thing of incarceration and people thinking it's cool to be in gangs or beating people up or whatever. Play guitar instead of stabbing somebody.
Right. Yeah. How about that?
I love it. I love it. I mean, this
Absolutely.
is just such an inspiring story. So we'd love to get you back on when the movie comes out. We can see the movie.
Be nice.
And I'd love to have you back. And if you do come to Grand Rapids or Detroit, we'll have you in the studio.
Yes. Or you
And
can
we'll help
love
you.
it.
You can
Yeah,
go
we're going to make a point of coming back. We're trying to root this thing out now sometime this next year of actually taking an Amtrak, which I've always wanted to do, from California to Chicago. And then I just found out you can go to Grand Rapids on an Amtrak. So I guess I can go to Detroit too,
You can
right?
come all the way to
There you
Detroit.
go.
Absolutely.
You can have a Q&A at a theater or something,
Yeah, man, we'll do it. We'll put it together. Absolutely.
I love it.
Thank you so much,
Vice
Buzzy.
versa. If you ever come to Sonoma County, if you like drinking wine and seeing and really great fish and stuff, and this is the place, like crab and lobster and
Oh, geez.
All right.
He makes it
Sounds
sound
nice.
so horrible.
All right.
Yeah. All right, Buzzy.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
guys,
Happy-
happy holidays.
You
Happy
too.
holidays.
You too.
Thank you so
Thank
much for your time.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Yeah, really nice guy.
That was awesome.
Great. Thank
That
you,
was
Jackie.
good.
Yay.
So here's the book.
Good
And-
guess.
Yeah, he was great. What a
Yes.
story.
I'll have
What
to buy
a
that when I
story.
get home. Yeah.
Well, you know what it does for me is it just makes me feel like, you know what, nothing's too big. Like
Right.
that,
Right.
anything little by little, you could do a lot. So
Right.
this
Yeah.
was actually a perfect story right before
It
the
was.
holidays, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because he has such a good heart and
Yeah,
everything
right.
falls into place. Like there's a reason that he's
Exactly.
succeeding because
Yes.
his intentions are so pure and
Right.
so good.
Yeah.
And he really
Good
does
point.
want to like stop that cycle
Right.
of, hey, let's have everybody in the family in prison instead of graduate from high school or
Right.
college.
Buzzy made you feel warm and fuzzy.
He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
All right, guys.
All right.
I think it's a wrap.
I think it
Okay.
is.
I'm gonna miss you guys. I can
I
see you for a
know.
couple of weeks.
Well, I'll see you Tuesday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
guess
Yeah.
who's coming in January? I think
Ooh.
it's the first week. Your
John
brother,
Paul.
your brother from another mother,
My brother
from another mother.
Your son?
Who do you always say? Your brother from
Oh,
another
I
mother.
know who.
Well, he
Who?
calls a lot of people that.
Alan Turner.
That's right, Alan Turner.
That's my brother from another mother.
Yeah, there you go.
I
So
forgot he's been so busy.
Kenny
anyway,
Rogers.
Yeah, Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
will be here. So
All right. Well, we'll
Ooh,
be
I'll
back.
have to.
All right.
I'll have to
So
dress
we back
appropriately.
we're back in 2 weeks.
With the
Is that it?
Lions.
yes,
2, 2, 3.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
first-
Go
2 weeks.
Lions.
yes, go Lions.
Go Lions. Sorry,
Bye,
T.
T.
Sorry,
I'm
T.
not gonna
All right,
say
guys.
anything.
No, you're not.
All right.
It's on his Facebook page.
Gail, you better get rid of that bucket hat.
All right, guys.
I'll kick the
All
bucket.
right.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
Go Lions,
Everybody
go
be
Lions,
safe.
go Lions.
It's a wrap.
You've turned into Roadwork Records, the podcast, your go-to for the latest and greatest in entertainment news worldwide. Got something to promote? Your business? Your book? Your music? Or anything else? Let us handle the hype. Hit us up for custom pricing, and we'll do the talking while you keep it gritty. Stay locked in. Roadwork Records and the Roadwork Records podcast.